The air hums with the thrum of machinery, the scent of ozone lingering from the constant dance of Hextech devices. My augmented arm feels cool against my skin, its servos whirring softly as I adjust its grip on the schematic blueprint laid out before me. The room is a hive of activity, engineers and scientists moving in precise patterns around me, their conversations blending into a background murmur. A notification chimes from the terminal beside me, another update to process. My eyes scan the data stream, absorbing the information with practiced efficiency. Each new advancement brings more complexity, but also the promise of progress. The terminal screen flickers with incoming messages, alerts, and requests. I prioritize them swiftly, my augmented mind sorting through priorities without hesitation. The heat from the Hextech core in the center of the room is palpable, a constant reminder of the power driving our innovations. My eyes trace the intricate network of wires and conduits that crisscross above me, carrying energy to every corner of this facility. The hum of machinery never ceases. It's the heartbeat of Piltover's relentless march forward. I stretch my mechanical fingers, feeling the tension in the joints ease as I run through diagnostic checks. My gaze drifts to the blueprint again, contemplating the next phase of development. Every step brings us closer to perfection, but each leap exacts a toll on those around me and within myself. The cost is high, yet unyielding progress demands sacrifice. My eyes flick back to my workstation as another notification blinks. Urgently, a critical system update awaits. I dive into it immediately, the rhythm of work becoming a familiar dance, a part of who I am here in this ceaseless world of Hextech and ambition. I calibrate the diagnostic module, ensuring all systems are within operational parameters. The screen flickers with green lines of code as I input commands, verifying system integrity. My augmented arm moves smoothly across the console, its mechanical precision a testament to necessity rather than preference. I retrieve the maintenance kit from the supply locker and proceed to replace worn components in the energy distribution unit. Each tool is selected for efficiency. There's no room for sentimentality or inefficiency here. The hum of machinery fills the air as I work, a constant reminder that my function is integral to the larger structure. I review the tactical reports on the display terminal, noting areas requiring immediate attention. My role demands focus and adherence to protocol. There are no deviations from the prescribed path, only tasks executed with precision. I interface with the communication relay to disseminate updated operational directives. The voice modulator adjusts my vocal patterns for clarity, ensuring that every message is clear and concise. The environment remains unyielding. It's a backdrop of constant motion and purposeful action. My existence here is anchored by these tasks, each one reinforcing my identity as a functional part of the whole. The hum of machinery echoes through the corridor as I move from one station to another. The rhythm is familiar, a constant that guides my steps and keeps me grounded in this relentless environment. At each console, fingers glide across touchscreens with practiced ease, initiating diagnostics and monitoring systems. Heat radiates from the consoles, a persistent warmth that initially draws attention but gradually fades into the background. It's there, an ever-present companion, yet it no longer demands my focus. The initial sensation of warmth against the skin is replaced by a sense of routine, where heat blends seamlessly with the task at hand. The metallic weight of my augmented arm feels heavier as I reach for controls, but each movement becomes smoother and more natural. There's an underlying tension that accompanies this exertion, yet it too merges into the background noise of daily operation. The hum of machinery continues to envelop me, a constant presence that anchors my actions without requiring conscious thought. The ambient sound of clanking metal and whirring gears is another consistent element. Initially, each clang or click registers with sharp clarity, but over time, these sounds become less distinct. They blend into the larger symphony of mechanical operations, serving as background music to my tasks, rather than individual notes demanding attention. With each passing moment, the sensation of heat from the consoles diminishes further, It's still there, a constant presence, but it no longer commands my awareness. The warmth is simply part of the environment, a backdrop against which I perform my duties with practiced precision and efficiency. The hum of machinery continues to provide a steady rhythm, guiding my actions as I move through the complex network of systems. My movements are synchronized with those around me, a seamless blend of individual tasks converging into cohesive operation. The augmented arm operates smoothly alongside natural limbs, its coolness now a familiar presence rather than a foreign addition. People around me move in patterns that feel almost choreographed, their actions blending into the background as I focus on my own duties. Distinctions between individuals blur. Each person becomes part of an intricate dance, where timing and spacing are crucial elements. The sense of individuality fades, replaced by a collective presence where every action is interdependent. The metallic sounds around me have softened to a soothing backdrop, no longer demanding attention, but instead blending harmoniously with the environment. Tasks flow effortlessly, each one contributing to a larger mechanism that operates beyond personal recognition. My role within this system feels replaceable, yet essential, a cog in an intricate machine where every part functions seamlessly without question. As I continue my work, there is no need for conscious effort or emotional attachment. The rhythm of machinery and human movement dictate the pace. The environment itself becomes a constant companion, its familiar hum guiding me through each task with precision and efficiency. The hum of machinery fills the air, a steady rhythm that guides my every action. My augmented arm moves with practiced precision as I adjust the settings on the diagnostic panel. The cool metal feels familiar against my skin, no longer drawing attention, but blending seamlessly into the routine. I perform the necessary checks and recalibrations without pause or hesitation. Each step follows logically from the last, a seamless flow of tasks driven by necessity rather than personal desire. My identity here is tied to these functions. I am a part of this system, not separate from it. The metallic sounds around me have faded into a comforting background noise. They no longer distract but support my work, each clank and whir serving as reassurance that everything operates smoothly. The heat of the machinery warms the room, yet it doesn't intrude on my focus. Instead, it becomes part of the environment. My movements are fluid, synchronized with those around me. There's no need for individual distinction of tasks intersect seamlessly, each person contributing to a larger whole without seeking recognition. My actions feel essential but impersonal, executed with detachment and precision. The routine feels workable and self-contained. Nothing is missing, everything aligns perfectly within this system. I continue my checks, the machinery's hum guiding me forward, ensuring that every detail falls into place. This is enough. The environment here operates on strict efficiency. Each component functions according to its assigned threshold, ensuring the system remains stable and ready for any challenge. The constant hum of machinery is a reassuring rhythm, signaling that all parts are in sync and performing their roles without interruption. There's no room for sentimentality or individual desire. Every action must align with operational necessity. Harshness is an inherent condition, not a choice. It ensures that each element performs at optimal capacity without waste. The absence of emotional interference allows for clear focus on tasks, reducing inefficiency and maintaining the system's integrity. While it may seem impersonal, this approach prevents disruptions and guarantees functionality. Every component must be prepared to operate beyond comfort zones when required, adapting swiftly to changing conditions. The coolness of my augmented arm contrasts with the warmth of machinery, but both serve the same purpose: to maintain balance and readiness. The hum around me signifies that all systems are functioning as intended, providing a backdrop against which tasks proceed seamlessly. Each mechanical sound is a confirmation that protocols are being followed, ensuring no deviation from operational standards. In this setting, personal identity blends into collective functionality. Individual contributions become part of the larger system, enhancing its overall stability and responsiveness. The precision with which I move reflects the interconnectedness of components, where one's actions influence another's readiness to perform. This interdependence ensures that every element is prepared for any eventuality, minimizing downtime and maximizing efficiency. The strict rhythm of machinery anchors my focus, guiding me through tasks with minimal cognitive effort. Every component operates within defined parameters, preventing unnecessary complications. The hum serves as a constant reminder that each part has a role to play, without room for personal whims or emotional distractions. This framework ensures that the system remains resilient and adaptable, capable of handling any challenge that arises. In summary, this environment functions because it must. Harshness is a byproduct of necessity, not preference. Every aspect operates within strict parameters to ensure stability and readiness, eliminating inefficiency and maintaining operational integrity. The hum of machinery provides the rhythm needed for seamless execution, where each action contributes to the system's overall effectiveness, without room for sentiment or deviation. This way, everything works as intended, ensuring that every component fulfills its role efficiently and effectively. The processing of recent engagements has yielded a clear projection. Individual units are but components in a larger mechanism. Each unit's contribution is quantifiably a margin of performance that fluctuates within operational tolerances. The system requires efficiency and continuity. Thus, the emotional noise often associated with loss or sacrifice dissipates into mere data points. The conversion of discomfort into metrics provides a sense of clarity. Units experience stress as variables deviating from optimal ranges, yet these deviations are corrected through established protocols. This recalibration ensures that operational parameters remain within acceptable limits, minimizing interference and maximizing output. Decisions once clouded by personal bias or sentiment now feel cleaner when framed in terms of efficiency, ratios, and performance margins. Each action is a calculation toward an end goal projection that seeks to optimize the entire system's capacity without regard for individual variance. The continuous hum of machinery serves as a constant reminder of these abstract processes. The steady rhythm signifies stability and readiness, reinforcing adherence to defined parameters. Deviation from these norms would introduce inefficiency, risking systemic failure. Therefore, commitment to established protocols is non-negotiable. Living beings within this framework are reduced to metrics: capacity, endurance, output. Their roles are clear components in a larger system designed for optimal performance under constant strain. The system's resilience lies in its ability to adapt and recalibrate, ensuring that each unit functions within their assigned tolerances without room for personal deviation or emotional interference. In this context, the abstract nature of outcomes becomes paramount. Once counted, nothing feels personal. Instead, it is a matter of operational necessity. Each unit's contribution, no matter the individual's perspective, serves the greater system. This rationalization provides a sense of coherence and purpose, anchoring focus on the collective functionality over individual desires. The world operates as it must, with harshness and hierarchy serving to maintain stability. The system functions because it is workable, and its components adapt accordingly. The hum of machinery fills the air, a constant and reassuring presence. It's a familiar noise, one that signals readiness and stability. Today, however, there's an increased frequency to the sound's subtle but noticeable uptick in rhythm. The machine's heartbeat grows more pronounced, echoing through the corridors with each passing moment. As I move through my tasks, the hum becomes louder, almost intrusive. Yet it's not a disruption. Rather, it serves as a reminder of the system's demand for attention and compliance. Each throb is a signal to recalibrate, to adjust focus and efficiency. The body responds in kin muscles tense slightly, reflexes sharpen, all contributing to optimal performance. The sensory overload is expected, part of the operational cycle. It's not discomfort, but rather an indication that I am engaged, aligned with the system's needs. Each breath aligns with the rhythm, each movement synchronized with the machine's pulse. The stress is a validation, confirming that my role within this intricate web is functioning as intended. The hum grows louder still, yet it remains a backdrop, not a distraction. It's a reminder of the interconnectedness and necessity, driving me forward without hesitation or deviation. There is no room for inefficiency here. Every component must perform its function flawlessly to ensure the whole operates smoothly. The strain is confirmation that I am performing my part correctly. In this environment, emotions are noisy, unwanted interference that could disrupt the delicate balance. They have no place in this world of efficiency and purpose. Each task completed, each adjustment made, aligns me further with the system's demands. The hum becomes louder, more insistent, yet it is not unwelcome. It is a constant companion, guiding me through the necessary tasks without room for error. The sensory overload continues unabated, but it does not fatigue or hinder. Rather, it sharpens focus and reinforces commitment to the operational imperative. Each component must function perfectly, contributing to the whole. The hum remains a steady drumbeat, a reminder of the relentless rhythm that keeps us moving forward. As I move through the corridors of our base, the rhythmic hum of machinery echoes around me. Each step is a measured response to the environment's demands, my movements synchronized with the system's pulse. The air is thick with the scent of metal and ozone, a familiar blend that grounds my focus. A brief hesitation flickers at the edge of my consciousness, an unbidden thought, barely noticeable amidst the constant stream of operational data. It's an anomaly, a momentary glitch in the efficiency matrix. I pause for just an instant, the sensation of uncertainty, fleeting but undeniable. The system does not tolerate deviation. Every component must align with its role to ensure optimal performance. This realization immediately corrects my internal misalignment. The doubt is a disruption, a distraction from the purpose that binds us all. It has no place here, where clarity and precision are paramount. I recalibrate, shifting gears within myself. My thoughts return to their structured path, each one a cog in the larger machine. I am not an individual, but a part of something greater, my actions contributing to the stability and resilience of our collective system. The hum of machinery continues unabated, a steady reminder of the necessity that governs us all. This adjustment is seamless, almost imperceptible, a matter of professional competence, not personal struggle. I am functioning as intended, aligning with the operational requirements without hesitation or deviation. The system demands efficiency, and in this moment, I deliver it flawlessly. The constant hum of machinery serves as a steady pulse, anchoring my focus and reinforcing the operational necessity of every action. Each task is executed with precision, minimizing any room for inefficiency or emotional interference. The environment, though rigid and demanding, provides clarity and purpose. There is no space for doubt or personal desire. These are seen merely as deviations that disrupt the flow. As I move through my tasks, each step aligns seamlessly with the next, forming a coherent chain of necessity. Every decision is an outcome of required functionality rather than individual choice. The system operates because it must, and this understanding resolves any internal friction. There is no room for moral questioning or ethical dilemma. These are inefficiencies that impede progress. The hum of machinery serves as a constant reminder of the stability and readiness of the collective framework. It ensures continuous engagement and synchronization with the demands of the environment. This alignment feels necessary, not just practical, but inevitable. Any sense of personal identity dissolves into the broader purpose of maintaining systemic order. In this world, individual desires are secondary to operational necessity. The system functions because it must, and I am a component within it. My role is defined by the requirements of efficiency and stability. This clarity provides a sense of grounding, not relief, but acceptance. Everything adds up. There is nothing left to argue or question. The constant hum continues, both reassuring and demanding. It drives me toward optimal performance without room for error or emotion. The environment reinforces my commitment to maintaining the system's integrity, ensuring that all components function as intended. This interdependence fosters resilience and adaptability, minimizing cognitive effort while maximizing efficiency. In this state, I am not a person, but a part of an intricate machine. Emotions are seen as disruptive noise that must be minimized for optimal performance. The hum serves as a guiding presence, ensuring continuous engagement with the system's needs. This abstraction provides a coherent framework that anchors focus on collective functionality over personal desires. As I complete my tasks, each one reinforcing my commitment to efficiency and purpose, there is a sense of clarity and alignment. Everything adds up. Nothing remains to argue. The system functions because it must, and I am an integral part of its stability. The hum of the machinery fills the air as I move through the designated pathways. The environment is a constant, familiar presence that guides my actions without need for conscious thought. Each step is measured, each movement deliberate. Arriving at the workstation, I begin the routine tasks with precision. Data streams in, analyzed and processed efficiently. There's no room for error, only necessity. Actions flow seamlessly from one to another, a continuous loop of functionality. The system dictates the rhythm, and I adhere without question. An alert flashes briefly on the screen, indicating an anomaly detected elsewhere in the network. Without hesitation, I reroute resources accordingly, recalibrating my focus to address the issue promptly. Efficiency is paramount. Delays are not options. The environment remains constant, a steady drone of activity that reinforces purpose and direction. Emotions flicker at the edges, but dissipate quickly, recognized as irrelevant noise. The operational imperative supersedes all else. As I complete one task, another begins to form naturally, a chain reaction of necessity. Each component aligns perfectly with its function, forming a cohesive whole greater than the sum of its parts. Individuality fades into insignificance. Collective purpose defines existence. The constant hum is both comforting and demanding, assuring stability, while enforcing readiness for any challenge that arises. The system's integrity depends on flawless execution, and I am an integral part of this intricate machinery. In moments when doubt might arise, the need for compliance quickly overrides any internal conflict. Personal identity is secondary to the role I play within the framework. This alignment feels natural, almost instinctive, as if my actions are predetermined by the system's logic. Tasks continue without interruption. Data analyzed, anomalies addressed, patterns identified and corrected. The environment remains a constant backdrop, reinforcing focus and guiding every action. Each moment is a part of an unbroken sequence where response occurs because it must, not because there was any choice involved. The operation concluded as scheduled. Status reports confirmed compliance levels met the threshold for stability maintenance. The system's integrity remained intact, with no anomalies detected in the affected region. Data on casualties updated records without disrupting flow. Completion marked an end to the phase, initiating a routine transition to the next set of directive. Actions were executed according to protocol, and outcomes aligned with projected objectives. Moving through the corridors feels like navigating a well-worn path etched into memory. The walls are lined with symbols and insignia that speak of higher authority without needing explanation. They merely indicate where one's place is within the structure. I pass by alcoves filled with lower-ranked individuals, their presence barely registering as I proceed. Their workspaces are cluttered with the tools of daily operation: scrolls, parchments, magical artifacts that seem foreign to my current trajectory. The doors ahead open automatically as I approach, granting me access without question. Inside, a senior figure sits at a desk, illuminated by floating orbs of luminescent magic. The air is charged with an aura of command that demands respect and adherence. My steps slow as I enter the chamber, the door closing behind me with a soft click. "Report," the voice commands without preamble. It's not a question but an order, one that requires immediate response. "I've completed the preliminary analysis on the incursion reports from the northern borderlands," I begin, laying out the findings methodically. "The enemy forces have sustained heavy losses, and our defensive formations remain intact. Any anomalies in their strategy?" Comes another query. "No significant deviations from previous patterns," I reply, recalling the data points without hesitation. "Their tactics continue to rely on overwhelming numbers, but show no signs of innovation or adaptation." Silence follows my report, a brief moment where expectations align and communication is clear. The senior figure nods, confirming my assessment as valid within the established framework. "Proceed with the standard countermeasures," they instruct, dismissing me without further discussion. "Ensure all units are briefed and prepared for reinforcement if necessary." The door opens once more at the command, allowing me to exit into a hallway that feels less confining than before. My role is defined by these interactions. Each task assigned, each decision deferred, contributes to a seamless flow of operation. Returning to my station, I find the environment has shifted slightly, a new directive from higher up, altering the immediate priorities. The workspace around me buzzes with activity as others adjust their tasks accordingly. A colleague hands over updated documents, their presence brief and purposeful. Our interaction is functional, devoid of personal exchange or emotional connection. As I review the new instructions, it's clear that some paths open naturally, dictated by authority and necessity. Others remain closed, not out of restriction, but because they do not align with current directives. The sense of hierarchy feels intrinsic to the environment itself, a natural ordering that requires no question or challenge. My actions follow suit, moving through tasks with precision and efficiency. Each step, a continuation of an unbroken sequence dictated by systemic imperative. As I move through the corridors, my steps are measured and precise. Each tile beneath my feet echoes with a familiar cadence, marking time in a rhythm that feels both natural and inevitable. The walls around me pulse with symbols of authority, their glow casting shadows that dance along the floor. These symbols serve as constant reminders of my place within the hierarchy, a position that is defined by duty rather than desire. A subtle disturbance flickers at the edge of my awareness, a momentary anomaly in the usual flow of thoughts and action. It feels like an unexpected ripple in the water, but instead of pausing to investigate its source, I allow it to pass through me without resistance. The sensation is brief, a fleeting glitch that quickly resolves itself as I recalibrate internally. I continue my path, noting the procedural details around me with clinical detachment. Each door I pass through leads to another task. Each interaction serves a purpose, and every report is filed away with meticulous care. There is no room for deviation or personal sentiment. Each action aligns perfectly with the system's logic, reinforcing its inherent correctness. The environment's shifting priorities prompt immediate adaptation, and I adjust my focus accordingly. My responses are automatic, driven by an unspoken understanding of what needs to be done next. The anomaly that briefly surfaced is now a distant memory, subsumed into the seamless operation of the whole. It feels routine and professional, part of the ongoing calibration that keeps everything in harmony. There is no questioning or emotional investment in this process. It simply is. Each moment flows into the next, with an unbroken sequence, driven by systemic requirements without room for deviation or choice. The sense of duty remains paramount, guiding my actions with quiet precision and a calm acceptance of what must be done. The corridors are lined with familiar symbols, each a reminder of my place within the structure. The rhythmic click of heels on stone tiles echoes through the hallways, punctuated by occasional murmurs from distant offices. I move toward my assigned post, aware of the subtle shifts in temperature and light that mark the boundaries between different sectors. At my station, reports are awaiting review. The data is clear-cut. Anomalies are rare but expected. Each entry aligns neatly with operational parameters, requiring only a cursory glance to confirm compliance. Adjustments are made when necessary, minor tweaks that maintain equilibrium without disruption. Interactions with colleagues are brief and functional. Deference is automatic, an ingrained response rather than an act of submission. Higher-ranking figures pass by, their presence commanding respect, but leaving no room for personal engagement. I nod in acknowledgement, my gaze steady yet detached. The environment shifts subtly as priorities realign. New directives arrive swiftly, integrating seamlessly into the existing framework. Adaptation is immediate and instinctive, driven not by choice, but by necessity. Each adjustment reinforces the inherent logic of the system, solidifying its dominance without question or resistance. As I continue my tasks, anomalies are rare, but quickly dismissed. Their occurrence feels like a temporary disturbance, rather than a challenge to the established order. The rhythm resumes, unbroken and unwavering. My movements through the corridors feel predetermined, each step guided by systemic imperatives. There is no sense of alternatives. Every action aligns perfectly with operational requirements. The environment's shifting demands prompt, seamless adaptation, without emotional investment or questioning. The day progresses, marked by precision and efficiency. My role within this structure feels complete and unquestioned. Each moment flows into the next, a continuous sequence driven solely by duty and quiet purpose. Walking through the familiar hallways of the Institute of War, my steps are measured and precise. The walls are lined with symbols of authority and power, yet they pass by without stirring any particular emotional thought. Each corridor is a path to be traversed, leading me to my next assignment. Today's task is routine reporting to General Casadin for the daily briefing. I approach his office door, pressing the buzzer with practiced ease. The door slides open silently, and I step inside without preamble. The general sits at his desk, surrounded by screens displaying data feeds and battle maps. He acknowledges my arrival with a nod. "Status update," he demands. I recite the current situation in the rift, detailing enemy movements and our strategic responses. My voice is steady and devoid of inflection, mirroring the neutrality of the information itself. The general listens intently, occasionally jotting notes or making brief observations. When I finish, he nods again, dismissing me with a curt gesture. The next task involves coordinating with Commander LeBlanc to strategize our next assault on the enemy's base. I find her in the war room, where large holographic maps and tactical displays fill the air. She greets me with a sharp nod of recognition. "We need to adjust our approach," she begins without preamble. "The enemy has reinforced their defenses." I respond efficiently, proposing alternative routes and suggesting additional support units for reinforcement. The conversation flows smoothly, each point building upon the last until we reach an agreement on our next steps. Commander LeBlanc acknowledges my suggestions with nods of approval before dismissing me to begin implementation. Later in the day, a similar scenario unfolds when I report to General Casadin, again for another briefing. However, this time his demeanor is different, seems more impatient and less attentive. His questions are sharper, his tone clipped. "Where's our intel on their new strategies?" he demands abruptly. I respond as per protocol, but there's a subtle difference in my delivery, a slight pause before I speak. Perhaps a moment of reflection that usually doesn't occur. The general notices the hesitation and narrows his eyes slightly, though he doesn't comment directly. The day progresses with routine tasks, such as inventory checks and supply management. Each interaction remains functional and brief, marked by deference to those in higher positions. When I encounter a colleague for the second time today, our exchange is identical yet feels somehow different, a slight variation in tone or body language. that seems normal and unremarkable. By evening, I am back at my station, reviewing reports and preparing for tomorrow's schedule. The environment's constant hum continues to provide a sense of comfort and demand. Each moment aligns perfectly with the system's logic, anomalies dismissed as temporary disturbances rather than challenges. The day ends without notable events or deviations from routine. Yet, there is an underlying sense of slight variation in how I perceive and react to similar situations, a subtle inconsistency that feels normal and unremarkable. I go about my duties, feeling a faint tug at the edges of my consciousness. It's like a whisper from somewhere deep inside, but I don't dwell on it. My movements are precise, almost robotic, as if programmed to handle each task without deviation. As I interact with others, there's an undercurrent of something, maybe frustration or impatience, but I push it aside. The moment passes, and my focus returns to the task at hand. It feels like a small disturbance in the routine, but nothing significant enough to change course. During meetings, when superiors bark orders, there's a brief pause in me, a flicker of resistance perhaps, or just a momentary hesitation, but it's gone as quickly as it came, and I carry on with my assigned duty. In between tasks, fleeting sensations arise: warmth, coldness, anxiety, but they don't linger. They're like shadows dancing across the surface of a pond, disappearing without leaving a ripple. Despite these minor interruptions, everything remains orderly. The routines are familiar, and I continue to follow them seamlessly. There's no need for change or introspection. Each action flows from one to the next with unbroken continuity. In moving through the halls, my steps steady and measured. The walls around me seem to shift slightly, but I don't notice it. My mind feels clear, yet distant. I see a message from the commander on my screen: urgent orders about an upcoming mission. I read it, then forget it almost immediately. It doesn't matter because everything is routine. I meet with my team for our daily briefing. We discuss strategies and coordinate movements, but none of it sticks in my mind. The words blend together into a familiar haze. My fingers move over the keyboard as I input data for mission planning. Each keystroke feels automatic, like muscle memory guiding me through tasks without thought. I encounter a colleague who looks troubled. He asks about a report that's overdue. His concern registers, but doesn't linger. "It'll be done soon," I say, my voice steady and unbothered. My mind drifts away from the conversation, even as I respond. It's like water, flowing around obstacles. It goes where it needs to go without resistance. Later, I find myself in a training room, going through drills with teammates. The motions feel familiar, but slightly off-kilter, as if there are small adjustments that my body makes on its own. My movements are precise and efficient, yet detached from the emotions they usually carry. There's no sense of pride or frustration, just an impersonal drive to complete each task. Back at my desk, I review files and make notes for upcoming missions. The details blur together, but the tasks themselves remain clear. It's as if each piece is a puzzle that fits into place without effort. A notification pops up about a critical update from the command tower. Priority, it reads. I acknowledge it, then continue with my work. During lunch, I sit alone and eat quietly. The food tastes bland, but satisfactory. My mind wanders to earlier conversations, yet I don't hold on to them. It's like watching clouds pass by, each one distinct but transient. There's a sense of detachment, but also acceptance. It feels normal, even expected. As the day progresses, there are small moments of resistance, a pause in conversation, a slight hesitation before responding to an email. These brief lapses don't disrupt my actions. They're minor disruptions that quickly resolve without consequence. Everything continues as usual, yet each moment seems slightly disconnected from the next. The day ends, and I find myself preparing for bed with mechanical precision. Each step feels familiar but detached. The routine is clear, yet my mind remains unengaged. It's like a machine, running its course efficient and purposeful, without emotional reflection. Tomorrow will be another day of tasks, briefings, and missions. There's no sense of anticipation or dread, just the expectation that everything will continue as it always has. In the morning, I find myself standing before my superior, a figure cloaked in authority. My movements are precise and measured, almost robotic. The words come out formal and clipped, lacking warmth or urgency. "Good morning, Commander," I say, my voice devoid of inflection. He nods tersely, his eyes scanning over me with the same detachment as mine. "Report," he commands. I pull up a file from memory, my fingers moving swiftly across the tablet before me. The information is presented without embellishment or analysis. It's just data, numbers, and figures. "We have completed the assigned objectives for yesterday," I state. "No significant deviations." His gaze sharpens briefly, but he nods again, dismissing me with a curt gesture. Later in the day, the environment shifts. I move into a more informal setting, where colleagues gather to discuss strategy over drink. My posture relaxes slightly, and my tone softens. There's an ease here that contrasts sharply with the morning's formality. "Hey, what do you think about our chances against the enemy next week?" someone asks me. I shrug casually, a smile playing at the corners of my mouth. "We have a solid plan in place," I reply confidently, leaning back in my chair. "But there are always variables to consider." The conversation flows naturally, and I find myself offering suggestions and critiques without hesitation. My thoughts feel clear but detached, as if they're coming from somewhere else. As the day progresses, another shift occurs. Now I'm at a training ground, instructing new recruits in combat techniques. The tone becomes firm yet supportive, my movements precise and demonstrative. "Pay attention to your stance," I say, adjusting a recruit's grip on their weapon. "Your balance needs improvement." The recruits listen attentively, following my guidance without question. My voice carries authority, and the commands flow smoothly from one to the next. Back in the office, I review reports with meticulous detail, highlighting discrepancies and suggesting improvements. Each task is approached with focused intensity, devoid of personal emotion or sentimentality. I move through these transitions seamlessly, each role activating a different set of behaviors without any sense of internal conflict. It feels normal, almost expected. There's no need to reconcile the differences. They simply exist. At night, I return home, my movements mechanical and efficient. The house is quiet, and I go about preparing dinner with practiced ease. Each step is familiar, yet slightly detached, as if performed by a different version of myself. The routine continues, each moment blending into the next, without interruption or reflection. It's all familiar, even as subtle changes persist beneath the surface. I wake up, the routine starting as it always does. Tasks flow in a familiar sequence, each action precise and methodical. The day begins with reports, data entry, and meetings, all mechanical processes that I carry out without much thought. In formal settings, my demeanor is strict and professional. Conversations are brief, to the point. I present information objectively, adhering to protocol meticulously. Colleagues interact with me as expected, their questions met with concise answers. There's no warmth, just efficiency. It feels normal. Okay, unshexed, unumshi. Moving into more casual environments, my tone softens slightly. Yet, it remains confident and analytical. Conversations are still detached, but the interactions feel less rigid. The camaraderie is there, but distant. I nod at jokes without genuine laughter, offer nods of agreement without real enthusiasm. Throughout the day, moments of resistance flicker inside me, but they pass quickly. There's a subtle unease that doesn't disrupt my action. It's like an undercurrent, present yet unnoticed. My mind remains clear and detached, processing information mechanically. Tasks are completed with routine clarity, each step following the last without deviation. The day's work is done efficiently, leaving no space for reflection or emotional attachment. There's a sense of detachment that feels normal, as if everything was meant to be this way. As the day closes, I retreat into my usual routine as reports filed, data analyzed, plans made for tomorrow. It all flows smoothly, without any noticeable disruption. The fragmentation continues, but it doesn't register as unusual or problematic. Things continue as they should, and that is sufficient. I arrive at the designated training grounds. The sun casts a familiar glow over the barren landscape. I begin my morning routine without hesitation, initiating combat drills with precision. Each movement is executed smoothly, transitioning from one form of attack to defense seamlessly. My actions are mechanical and efficient, guided by habit rather than any internal thought. I face off against fellow trainees in sparring matches. Our exchanges are quick and calculated, each strike and block a reflection of practiced coordination. There is no emotional response to victories or defeats. Outcomes are merely data points in the continuum of training. My movements remain fluid and purposeful, adapting to changes in combat scenarios with ease. Afternoon brings strategic planning sessions with my team. We discuss routine begins as usual. Morning training starts at the designated time, following established protocols without deviation. Movement and action are synchronized, each step a familiar pattern. Analysis of strategies is methodical, data-driven decisions replacing any form of emotional input. Training sessions proceed with precision, each combat scenario executed with practiced efficiency. Feedback is received, adjustments made based on mechanical understanding rather than personal reflection. Progress reports are filed, reviewed, and updated systematically. Afternoon shifts into tactical discussion. Colleagues engage in strategic planning, voices blending into a background hum of activity. Notes taken during meetings are categorized, stored for future reference without emotional attachment or judgment. Evening brings individual training sessions in the virtual arena. Combat drills repeat with consistency, techniques honed through repetition. Performance metrics are analyzed, improvements noted and implemented automatically. Night falls. Routine checks ensure preparedness for the next cycle. Personal items are organized meticulously, sleep protocol initiated without hesitation. Sleep comes smoothly, mind settling into a pattern of restful detachment. Continuation occurs because continuation is expected. Movement around me follows predictable patterns. Figures pass by without disruption to my routines. During morning training sessions, bodies align and shift according to familiar formations. My actions continue uninterrupted as others adjust their positions relative to mine. In the afternoon, shadows lengthen and obstruct paths, momentarily before clearing again. Evening brings clusters of figures huddled in discussion, but they remain outside my focus. Absences are noted only by empty spaces where presence was expected. The world functions through mechanical interactions, devoid of personal significance. Training begins. Drills follow. Analysis occurs. Strategies evolve. Date. Combat ensues. Patterns emerge. Data is processed. Reflections are absent. Actions continue. Efficiency prevails. Checks are routine. Sleep protocol adhered to. Detachment maintained. Tasks completed. Equilibrium sustained. Morning training commences as usual. The arena is cold and familiar. The drills repetitive yet necessary. I move through each exercise with precision, my body adapting to the motions without thought. Data points accumulate. Progress is noted, but not felt. Afternoon brings tactical briefings. Colleagues discuss strategies with detachment, their voices a steady hum of information exchange. My role is clear: analyze, contribute data, and execute plans with efficiency. There are no personal stakes, only the task at hand. Evening falls, and I adhere to sleep protocols without deviation. The room is quiet, the darkness complete. My body settles into a state of restful detachment, free from intrusive thoughts or dreams. As dawn approaches, the cycle repeats. No new insights, no emotional weight, just mechanical continuity. Mid-sleep protocol check ensures everything remains on track, with no emotional fluctuations or personal reflections intruding. The system continues to run smoothly. This is all there is. Routine begins as usual. Morning training starts at the designated time, following established protocols without deviation. Movement and action are synchronized, each step a familiar pattern. Analysis of strategies is methodical, data-driven decisions, replacing any form of emotional input. Training sessions proceed with precision, each combat scenario executed with practiced efficiency. Feedback is received, adjustments made based on mechanical understanding rather than personal reflection. Progress reports are filed, reviewed, and updated systematically. Afternoon shifts into tactical discussions. Colleagues engage in strategic planning, voices blending into a background hum of activity. Notes taken during meetings are categorized, stored for future reference without emotional attachment or judgment. Evening brings individual training sessions in the virtual arena. Combat drills repeat with consistency, techniques honed through repetition. Performance metrics are analyzed, improvements noted and implemented automatically. Night falls. Routine checks ensure preparedness for the next cycle. Personal items are organized meticulously. Sleep protocol initiated without hesitation. Sleep comes smoothly, mind settling into a pattern of restful detachment. Continuation occurs because continuation is expected. Movement around me follows predictable patterns. Figures pass by without disruption to my routines. During morning training sessions, bodies align and shift according to familiar formations. My actions continue uninterrupted as others adjust their positions relative to mine. In the afternoon, shadows lengthen and obstruct paths momentarily before clearing again. Evening brings clusters of figures huddled in discussion, but they remain outside my focus. Absences are noted only by empty spaces where presence was expected. The world functions through mechanical interactions, devoid of personal significance. Training begins. Drills follow. Analysis occurs. Strategies evolve by day. Pimenty. Combat ensues. Patterns emerge. Data is processed. Reflections are absent. Actions continue. Efficiency prevails. Checks are routine. Sleep protocol adhered to. Detachment maintained. Tasks completed. Equilibrium sustained. Morning training commences as usual. The arena is cold and familiar. The drills repetitive yet necessary. I move through each exercise with precision, my body adapting to the motions without thought. Data points accumulate. Progress is noted, but not felt. Afternoon brings tactical briefings. Colleagues discuss strategies with detachment. Their voices a steady hum of information exchange. My role is clear: analyze, contribute data, and execute plans with efficiency. There are no personal stakes, only the task at hand. Evening falls,